What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you be in the loop. I'll let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to give some shots out to the early birds, starting with dun, dun, dun. China Carter, China Carter. What's up, what's up? What it look like, Bill? All right, all right, all right. Let's see. I want to do this real quick. Let's see. Take that. Got a little technical problem right here that I'm trying to resolve. Getting close. Okay, got that right. Let's see. Okay, got that right. Okay, back to the comments. I got Carrie, Paul Cookies. Is that Paul Cookies? I said Paul Cookies. Paul. Okay, got Amazing Love, Keith Wilson, Carrie Alfaro, Paul Cooksey, Chris Fertson, Happy Girl, Matthew, what's up, Matthew Ford, Charles Jackson, Terry, Mike, I see Joyce Du Bois, or is that Joyce DuBose? Joyce DuBose, I think that's DuBose. Norman, what's up, Norman? All right, fam, going in. I'll come back to the comments a little later. Going in for now. Okay, what do we have here? We got Wiz Khalifa, who is having some problems in Romania. Yeah, fam, he's been sentenced to prison. We'll get into that in a moment. We also got Diddy and Drewski and Odell Beckham, who got a bit of some good news. You know, a lot of these celebrities are getting hit left and right. I mean, they're going down left and right. I mean, it's bad out there in these celebrity streets right now, fam. We also have a New Jersey firefighter who got a bit of justice after having a noose placed on his desk by a fellow fire officer. You know, I got a lot to say about that because that was a time when I really, really did revere firefighters. I mean, I really liked them. And then I started hearing about all of these horrible stories where firefighters sometimes purposely let Black people die in fires. These are true stories. We also got Donald Trump, who is having some blues on the civil side. He caught himself filing suit against some people, and they filed back, and now they are threatening to expose his innermost secrets. This is horrible, fam. This is horrible news. So I'm not going to even start off with that. I'm going to start off. With Trump and the news from the Venezuelan president who says that, hey man, Trump is playing y'all. This ain't about fentanyl. This is not about drugs. This is about Donald Trump, your president, trying to steal my oil. Yeah. Venezuela president said, hey man, this dude is playing y'all. If y'all falling for this, if you fall for this, you'll fall for anything. So Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro said Wednesday that his U.S. counterpart, Donald Trump, had revealed his true motives toward the South American country with his claim that it had stolen U.S. oil, land, and other assets. Maduro said Trump's claims showed the U.S. was really seeking regime change along with ownership of Venezuela's territory and resources. Previously, the U.S. had characterized its buildup of naval forces near the country as being aimed at combating drug trafficking. Woo, man, when it says one thing, it's usually something else, ain't it? It is simply a warmongering and colonistic pretense. And we have said so many times, and now everyone sees the truth. The truth has been revealed. Maduro said during a speech in Caracas Wednesday, the aim in Venezuela is a regime change to impose a puppet government that wouldn't last 47 hours, that would hand over the Constitution, sovereignty, and all the wealth, turning Venezuela into a colony. It would simply never happen, he continued. On Tuesday, Trump wrote on Truth Social that the military buildup around Venezuela would get bigger until the country returned to the U.S. the oil, land, and other assets that they previously stole from us. Who believes this is about drugs and fentanyl? Go in and we're going to invade this country because we're going to put an end once and for all to the fentanyl and drug trade. And them exporting drugs and fentanyl to our country. We love our citizens, and we'll do anything to protect our citizens. We value every life. Therefore, anybody that's trying to harm my people in my country, I am going to kill you. Who believes that? Who believes it's about the fentanyl and the drugs? Give me a thumbs up if you believe it's about the fentanyl and the drugs. Thumbs down if you say, no, man, I see what's happening. He want them people oil. He want their land. Thumbs down if you think that's what it is. In fact, 2 thumbs up if you believe that's what it is. If you believe that it's about the land and the oil, give me 2 thumbs up. Let's see where y'all at with it. 2 thumbs, not 50 thumbs, just 2 thumbs. 2 thumbs up if you believe that's what it's about. 1 thumb up if you believe it's about the drugs. If you believe it's about the drugs and if you believe it's about the drugs, give me a thumbs up, 1 thumbs up, 2 thumbs up if you believe it's about a land grab, it's a money grab, it's a resource grab. Darnell, 2 up, Jonathan, 2 up, both. That's not even an option. But y'all just don't know how to follow. Some of y'all just don't know how to follow instructions, man. You know, I bet it was hard in class, huh? It was hard passing some of them classes. Yeah. V. Thompson, what's up? V. Thompson, double up. Lamont, double up. Mars, unique, double up. Emigio, double up. Just bullish, Amazing Love, double up. Connie Hodge, double up. Mona, double up. Mario Jones, double up. Keith Wilson, double up. Vanessa, double up. Sam, double up, double up. Tawana, double up. Mr. Black Hover, double up. Larry Hollins, double up. D. Trini, double up. Tori, double up. Is that tick, Flavor Station? I got Flavor Station. I don't know what what the rest of it is. Double up. Fat Sacks, double up. Chico, double up. No, they ain't double up. They're smiling, double up. Double smile. Beauty, beautiful, double up. Bobby, double up. Marquis, double up. Marquis, double up. Okay, is that Anna Treese Wheatley? Okay, so it looks like nobody is falling for this whole drug fentanyl thing. You know, America, they're really like the king of deception. You have to really think now, fam, when you look at all of the wars that America's been involved in, all of the invasions that America has been involved in, you really have to ask yourself, was even one war justified? The only war that I can say that was justified in this country was the Civil War. And I'm pretty sure that it wasn't even about what they said it was about. You know, they said they really tried to say it was about liberating Black people. That's what they tried to make the Civil War about. They tried to say it was really about that. The truth is they cared nothing about the Black people. But Black people was basically a pawn in the game in the Civil War, the US Civil War, the American Civil War. We were pawns. The only reason why Lincoln freed enslaved people in America was because of the economic advantage that the South had over the North and the rest of the country. The South was doing its own thing. It was enriching itself through slavery. And Lincoln had to bring an end to that because the South was feeling itself. You want us to do what? Now, we ain't got to do nothing, man. We're going to do what we want to do down here. We do what we want to do. Woo, woo, woo. And Lincoln was like, well, you know what? Let's hit them in the pocket. Because the only reason why they flexing the way they're flexing is because they got free slave labor. And if we cripple that, we cripple their economy. We take away their power. So let's hit them in the pocket. And this is what our country does, or your country does, all the time. Anytime you want to destabilize a person, you want to neutralize them, the first thing you do is you try to go after their finances. You know, you try to hit them in the pocket. And, you know, once you do that, a lot of times you'll get people to say uncle. If that don't work, depending on how bad you want them, then you take it to the next level. And y'all know how that goes. So you got to ask yourself, how many times, how many wars have America been involved in where they went under false pretense, where they went illegally, where they started the war illegally? How many countries has America invaded illegally, where they went under false pretense? They put the propaganda machine in place. See, America probably could have pulled this off, right? They probably could have pulled it off, but the problem is Trump talks too much. He wants everybody to know that he's the big bad bully and he don't have to wait on anybody or answer to anybody. So he talks too much. So he pimped his hand. This is when he told on himself. It was this exact moment right here is when he told on himself. Check this out.
All right, well, that was a beautiful event for three great people. And they're now looking down, and their parents and wives and all of the people that were there were, devastated, but great people, great people. So thank you very much for being there. Yeah, she's doing a great job. Just a blockade. Not going to let anybody go.
Quick note. He was just asked by a female reporter about his chief of staff, the one who said that he suffered from alcoholic personality disorder, right? He had said that he had a alcoholic personality. You know, he did not like those comments, but he just was asked about her, and Trump quickly said she's doing a great job. Remember, I said he's going to fire that woman. She will be fired within the coming days. That is a promise. No way possible he's going to have somebody on his team like that. He has to make an example out of her, and I guarantee you that's going to happen. I'm surprised he didn't throw her under the bus just now, but you'll see what I'm talking about.
Going through that shouldn't be going through. You remember they took all of our energy rights. They took all of our oil from not that long ago, and we want it back, but they took it. They illegally took it.
Did y'all hear what he said? He said Venezuela illegally took our oil and our land. Now, the whole time he's been attacking Venezuela and blowing up boats in the ocean, he's been saying it's about drugs. It's about fentanyl. We ain't heard nothing about no land. We ain't heard nothing about no oil. We ain't heard nothing about these past grievances. Now all of a sudden he's like, well, you know, they took our oil and they took our land and we want it back. Boom! Told on himself. See, he cannot keep his mouth shut because he's too proud. He's too much of a narcissist. So he don't know how to keep a secret unless you're talking about those Epstein files. You know what? He's pretty quiet on that part. But everything else, he ain't got no problem on letting you know what the play is. If I'm a general, if I'm part of the whole thing and I'm corrupt like he is, I'm mad at this point. I'm mad. Look, man, now you got us cleaning up stuff, man. Damn, why you have to say something about that, man? Damn. The fuck wrong with you, bro? You know how we do it around here, man. We be lying and stuff, man. We do propaganda, man. We don't do straight up honesty, man. We don't do that. We do propaganda. You know, we got to make them look bad. And we got to tell the American people that it's about drugs or something. You know, they dumb as hell and they'll fall for anything. They believe anything we say. So we got to give them something like that. We can't just straight up say we gonna take it, even though a lot of Americans are bullies and they love taking stuff. That's why they voted for us in the first place. That's why they voted for this administration. That's why they voted for you in the first place, because they themselves are bullies. They themselves are uncivilized. They themselves are corrupt. So, but we still have to act like we're decent people. This is how we get in and have the meetings with everybody else. We can't straight up tell these people we'll be back in 6 months to invade you. We got to shake their hands and look them in the eyes and brag about them being our ally. You know, we can't be doing stuff. You damn, I mean, why'd you say that, man? You didn't have to say that. Now we got to go and do a whole PR campaign to clean this stuff up. Now we got to say, well, what the president really meant. Well, you know, the president isn't wrong, even though it wasn't about that. It really was about the drugs and the fentanyl. It was really, two things can be true at the same time, you know. We had forgot about it. We hadn't forgotten about it, but we put it on the back burner. We put the land and the oil on the back burner all these decades because, you know, we was just like bygones be bygones. But this is something that the president is really passionate about. And he just happened to speak about it, and he was asked a question. He just wanted to be transparent with the American people, and he was just being honest, which is why the American people voted for him, because he's an honest man who says what he means and he does what he says he's going to do. You big dummy. You know the American people going to fall for it because they stupid. Not every American person, obviously, but most Americans are stupid. Straight up. Most Americans are stupid. They ain't rah-rah like they claim they are. They're not the rebels that they think they are. Because if they were, they would not be allowing these politicians to rape and pillage our economy the way that they do. They wouldn't be allowing these politicians to stroke deals, handshake paper bag deals that allow food companies to put carcinogens in our food and water supply, dangerous levels of lead in our food and water supply. And I haven't even started talking about how they put these dangerous ingredients in our soaps, in our detergent, in the products that we buy, including furniture. This stuff has dangerous levels of toxins in the furniture. Our politicians have sold us out to the highest bidder. So it's never about us. It's never about the people. It's never. Can you imagine living in a household where your mama and daddy, and I'm not putting them on the level of our mama and daddy like we some children or something. I'm just putting them on the level of mama and daddy as far as being the head of the house, right? Can you imagine that your mama and daddy, everything that they do for themselves, and you don't have, it's not to benefit you. Everything they do is to benefit themselves. You just watch the house while I go out here and get my money and freak off and do whatever. But I'm going to tell you it's for you, but ain't none of this for you. It's all for us, me and mama. We going to get everything. We getting the whole thing. And if whoever don't complain and you help us keep the rest of the kids in line, we'll give you a couple of chips. We'll throw you a few crumbs on the side. Just keep your mouth shut and protect us and say nice things about us. Man, we in trouble, fam. We're in trouble. We're in deep trouble. But listen to him talk about how smoothly he switched gears and just blurt out the land and the oil talk. Check him out.
All of our oil from that. So thank you very much for being there. Yeah, she's doing a great job. Just a blockade. Not going to let anybody going through that shouldn't be going through. You remember they took all of our energy rights. They took all of our oil from not that long ago, and we want it back. But they took it. They illegally took it. Oh, Dan did a great job. I think he wants to go back to his show. Yeah, I do. Getting land, oil rights, whatever we had, they took it away because we had a president that maybe wasn't watching. But they're not going to do that. We want it back. They took our oil rights. We had a lot of oil there. As you know, they threw our companies out, and we want it back. Well, I think the message this evening is we inherited a mess, and we've done a great job, and we continue to. And our country is going to be stronger than ever before very soon. Thank you very much, everybody.
And there you have it.
Energy rights. They took.
Our country is going to be stronger than ever before. All you got to do is lie to them and make it sound fly to them, and you get a pass, just like that. Just like that. All you got to do is lie to them and make it sound fly to them, and they will give you a pass. The American people will give you a pass, just like that. No problem. No problem. It's sad. It's sad, but that's where we are. I saw earlier, I saw a post, a comment where somebody said something along the lines of Abraham Lincoln and his reason for freeing the slaves was not as I said it was, which I said it was to bankrupt the South, basically. Well, this person said that if that's true, well, why did he free the other slaves and around the country, around the rest of the country? The answer is right there in your face. The answer is, well, you got free slaves here. If we're going to free slaves here, and where the majority are, where 90%, 95% of the slaves are, well, we got to free this other 5% too, which, we're doing well with our slaves, our 5% of our slaves, we're doing well, but, we can afford to lose them. So, yeah, that wasn't a big ask, right? For him to do that. That wasn't a big ask to get rid of, to abolish slavery in all of the states. That was not a big ask. But Trump is going to get a bunch of Americans killed. It ain't going to go like they think it's going to go. This internet has exposed everything. And I think they're fighting new wars. They're fighting old wars with new technology. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're using this. These are new wars, but old tactics, right? They're using old tactics to fight new wars with new technology. And they're not considering the new technology is exposing them. See, that was a time when they could do something like that and get away with it, and no one would be the wiser because they controlled the media. See, when the US controlled the media, they controlled ABC, CBS, NBC, all of that. That's why I never trusted them, because I knew that they were in collusion with the government. So I never trusted the information coming from none of the major broadcasters. I never trusted them. I always questioned everything they said. But most of us, we don't question what we hear on the news. We think it's legit because we give them the benefit of doubt that, hey, these are professional people. These are journalists, and they speak so well, and they dress so well, and they went to school for this. And they always talk about fair and balanced news, fair and balanced news and how they, are transparent. And then sometimes we see them out, in the elements when there's a tornado and they're trying to bring us the news. And then we see them, sometimes we'll see somebody at war. And so we give them credibility based on them putting their lives in peril, the reporters putting their lives in peril at times. Some of the reporters are honest people. Some of the reporters are good-natured people, and they mean good. They mean well, but they're working for corrupt organizations. The organization itself is corrupt. The network itself is corrupt. And so when you see these people out working in these war zones and things like that, that has more to do with the person who's working in that war zone than the network that person works for. Because the person is putting their life on the line. They can kill that person, and the network going to open the doors at the same time the next day. Ain't nobody gonna miss no meals. Ain't nobody gonna miss car payments, miss no mortgages. Life gonna be the same whether they die or make it back. So we gotta remember that, man. Like we in this country, a lot of us are just slow. Like we don't question anything. When I was 10 years old, I was sitting on the floor watching television with my family. We were watching the news. It was the 6 o'clock news. My mama only watched Channel 13 News in Houston. Channel 13 News with Marvin Zindler and who was it? I think it was Dan Patrick and some other people. But in any event, it was Channel 13, right? And Dave Ward, that was a guy, right? So a police officer killed a black man. And the police spokesperson was like, the police spokesperson was talking about what had happened. And I said, oh, and this is how they do it, like they still run the same play right now. And the officer thought that the person was reaching for a gun, and then that's when the officer opened fire, effectively killing the man. But no gun was found at the scene. No gun was found at the scene. Even back then, they was using thought. He thought he was reaching for a gun. Thought he was reaching for a weapon. So I said, at 10 years old, I said, how we know that was happening? How we know that's what happened? My mama looked at me and said, motherfucker, because they said it happened. And that was it. She believed it because they said it happened. She believed it because they said that's what happened. So many of us have evolved from that. Many of us have learned our lessons. And many of us understand that the world image that people have of Black people is tainted because of news outlets like NBC, ABC, CBS. It's tainted because of Fox News. It's tainted because of the New York Post, the Washington Post, the Houston Post, the Houston Chronicle. It's tainted because of that, because all of them played the game. Every newspaper in the country, every major newspaper in the country, they all were complicit. Every last one of them. And this is why I don't trust them to this day. We got Wiz Khalifa, fam. Wiz Khalifa found himself in a jam. Where's Wiz? I had a pic of Wiz. I got to put that up. There Wiz go. So Wiz Khalifa got himself in a jam out in Romania. Big time. I mean, not just a regular jam. I mean, a major jam. Wiz Khalifa is facing time in prison. He's facing time in prison. So what did Wiz Khalifa do? Or better yet, what is Wiz Khalifa accused of? Well, he's facing a potential 9-month stint in Romanian prison for weed, but he's hoping to find an alternative solution to a definitive sentence just handed down by the country's government. Thursday, Romania's Constanta Court of Appeal upheld an appeal filed by the DIICOT, a prosecutor's office in the country, to sentence the young, wild, and free rapper to 9 months, despite a previous citation that only fined him $3,000, or well, roughly $700, 3,000 lei, roughly $700. Sources close to the situation informed TMZ Hip Hop that nothing is set in stone just yet. His team is currently in the process of appealing the sentence. Wiz was arrested and briefly held following his performance at Constantine Beach Please Festival in July 2024, where he lit up a joint while dancing to Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg's The Next Episode. Romanian drug laws are strict. It could be an uphill legal battle. He got money. I don't think he's going to end up doing the time. His paper long. I think that, and he's the type of dude, he don't really make a lot of waves, so he ain't really got a lot of political enemies. So he'll probably be able to pull some strings and get on up out of there. But let this be a reminder that when in Rome, you do as the Romans, not as you want to do while you roaming somebody's land. You better understand what the rules are before you go to these other countries. He lit that joint up like he was at, what they call that, what's Cypress Hill? Cypress Hill got a festival called, what is it called? Smoke Out or Smoke something. Anyway, but he lit that thing up like he was on the West Coast. Like, no, homie, you're not in California. Before you go to another country, you better find out what the laws are, because you can find yourself facing a life sentence or even a death sentence. And make no mistake, there have been times when people have went to these foreign countries and they wasn't able to get help. There are some people right now who are stuck in prisons in other foreign countries right now. And they can't get anybody on the phone. They're stuck. They're absolutely stuck. You better know what to do, and if you don't know what to do, you better know what not to do. You better not be like that dude who went to, where was that he went? He went to, was it Russia? No, it wasn't Russia. It was it the United Arab Emirates? Emirates, I said immigrants. Emirates. I can't remember where that guy was, but the guy, let me look this guy who took the picture. Yeah, and the guy took the picture, Robert Black. That was Robert Black, an American arrested, in the United Arab Emirates for photographing a restricted area. So that's a different guy. This is the case of Otto Warmbier, who was jailed in North Korea. That's what it was. North Korea, for trying to steal a propaganda poster illustrating how seemingly innocent acts like photography or tourism can be misinterpreted or exploited. So yeah, this guy steals a propaganda poster off the wall at his hotel, and they locked his ass up. When he came back, I don't know if they drugged him or they beat him or they did something, but he was brought back to America and he died. Yeah, he died, I believe, like en route back to America. In fact, I got it right here. So his death, let's see. Okay, so after his parents requested his feeding tube be removed, let's go before that. So Warren Barr's physicians at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center stated that he was in a state of unresponsive wakefulness, commonly known as persistent vegetative state. He was able to breathe on his own and blink his eyes, but otherwise showed no signs of awareness of his environment, such as understanding language, nor did he initiate any purposeful movements. So it says let me go back a little further. After 17 months in detention, Warren Barr, still in a comatose state, was medically evacuated. Okay, so they evacuated him while he was in a medical state. And he was evacuated to Cincinnati. Arriving on the evening of June 13th, he was taken to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center, where doctors tried to determine what caused his coma and if there were signs of recovery. So he ends up going out there, being brought back, and he died on July 19th. Yeah. Yeah, so he was brought back to the U.S. and then he died on the 19th after his parents requested his feeding tube be removed. So, and then there was a story where one guy from the U.S. went to a sacred ground and stole a rock. He didn't think he was stealing the rock. The rock was on the damn ground. He picked up the rock and pocketed the rock as a souvenir. And they locked him up. They put him in prison for stealing a rock. They said, hey, these were sacred grounds. I don't know if he got the memo earlier and he was trying to be sneaky or what, but he picked up the rock off the ground, and, you know, the dude, he put it in his pocket, and they put him in prison. You got the black chick who went over there. Well, you got Brittany Reiner. I mean, is it Brittany? What's Brittany's last name? Brittany, the basketball player. Brittany, and what is that girl name? In any event, this chick goes and she got some weed or something like that on her, and she ended up in prison for several months. Then you got this black chick, Brittany Griner. There you go. Thank you. Thanks. Appreciate you, Mr. Edge. Appreciate you, Curtis. Yeah. D. Willa. Yeah. So she goes over there and she gets into an argument with a rental car worker. This person is I believe they were at the airport or near the airport. She's talking to this rental car guy and she raises her voice. They locked her up for raising her voice. See, all that go in America. Everything except for stealing the propaganda post. You ain't supposed to steal nothing. But going somewhere and picking up a rock off the ground, you good. Raising your voice at someone who working at a rental car facility, you're good. Photographing something, typically you're good if you don't get caught. If you get caught, they just tell you to erase it. Nobody's going to put you in jail. But you go to some of these other countries, you're going to jail. And that's if you're lucky. In some of these places, they'll chop your head off on the spot. Talk about instant justice. So I don't think nothing is going to come of this. Wiz Khalifa is not a bad guy. He's not a danger to society. He's not a threat. But none of that matters when you go to certain countries. They got their way of doing things, and America has its way of doing things. So when in these other countries, you better find yourself, if you're going to go to another country, you better get that rule book as fast as possible. Get that rule book, get you that rule book as fast as possible. Even in some of these countries that you think are going to be really kind and friendly and welcoming, get that rule book. Every country has one. And it'll tell you in short what the rules are, what to watch out for. If you're a tourist, it'll tell you, hey, watch out for this. Don't do this. This is the custom, da-da-da. And you'll be all right. If you get that rule book, you'll probably avoid getting trapped 99% of the time. Yeah. So, in other hip hop news, we got Diddy, we got Drewski, and we got Odell Beckham, who has had a lawsuit dropped against them. A civil lawsuit was dropped against them. Where's my story right there? Boy, this internet chopping me up over here, y'all. Let me get back to my story. So Diddy, Drewski, and Odell Beckham, they caught a break. They got some good news. The lawsuit that was brought against them has been dismissed. That lawsuit attempted to paint them as sexual predators at a party in 2018. That lawsuit has been tossed out because the judge ruled none of the defendants ever got served the papers, and the plaintiff couldn't lock down a lawyer to handle the case after her original one dropped out. When a lawyer drops out of a case, that means there ain't no money there. That's your first sign of knowing that you probably don't have a case. Lawsuits are easy money for lawyers because most of them will be settled. So if a lawyer think they can get some paper, you're talking about 3 rich dudes. They got money, you know. Get a few million from each one of them, man, you good. So they got it. The lawyers, her original lawyer, dropped out. On Wednesday, a federal judge in California dismissed the case brought by a woman named Ashley Parham, who filed a suit back in October 2024 claiming she had been assaulted by Diddy, Drewski, and Odell Beckham Jr. at a party in Orinda, California. Orinda, California. Never heard of that place. But Orinda, California. This is what Odell Beckham had to say about it. I have been informed of the allegations about me in a suit in California. I really can't even believe that my name is mentioned in that manner. There's absolutely no truth to those allegations. I do not know and have never met the person that filed the suit. I was not anywhere near Orinda, California at that time. In fact, I don't think I have ever even been to Orinda, California. I have never done anything like that, and I would never do anything like that to anyone. I'm confident that these ridiculous claims against me will be dismissed. Well, Odell, you were right. You were right. Those claims against you were dismissed. The people she went after immediately challenged the claims. And Odell Beckham, you heard his response. Drewski dropped receipts of his empty bank account to prove he wasn't even a celebrity at the time. And Diddy, who was hit with several similar lawsuits, also slammed the victim's claims. Parham's lawyer, Ariel Mitchell, withdrew from the case in September, and the judge says Parham missed several crucial time extension dates, including the time to find new legal counsel or to even declare she wanted to proceed without one. Drewski was happy with the decision and slammed Parham, but still sent a sensitive and positive message in a statement saying, "It was only a matter of time before this frivolous lawsuit against me was dismissed." He added, "I pray for the real victims of assault. We can't allow these cloud-chasing antics to deter true survivors from coming forward and speaking out against these abusers in the future. Case dismissed." I ain't got no problem with that. I got a problem with the ones where there are real cases out there and those cases get dismissed, but I never believed this one off the rip because, again, hey, Odell was like, man, I ain't never even been to Orinda, California. And Drewski showed his empty bank account. Like, man, I wasn't even a celebrity at that time. I didn't have no money. So what you talking about? I can't even afford to even go to Orinda, California. He wasn't even on the scene. And you ain't gonna be in those certain kinds of circles if you ain't on the scene, if you're not affiliated closely with one of those guys, or you ain't somebody yourself. You're not going to be in those circles. To all the true victims out there of assault, sexual assault, and there's plenty. I see you. There are some listening to my voice right now. I see you. I feel for you. And I respect what you went through and what you're going through. But there should be an equal amount of vitriol for people who lie in cases like this, as there are for those who victimize others. There should be serious consequences, because when people lie like this, they actually ruin lives. Like, this didn't really do too much to Diddy because he already got 200 other cases against him. You know, Odell Beckham, you know, his name has been dragged, and actually Drewski's name has been dragged, but still, if you're gonna be dragged, get dragged for what you did, not what you didn't do. Like, okay, yeah, I did this, I did that, but I ain't do that, so don't be lying on me, man. Don't lie on me, you know? And I always thought old girl was lying from jump. It's like the girl who lied about, who did she say? She said it was Jay-Z and Diddy. And Jay-Z was like, man, I wasn't even at that mansion on that day. I was somewhere else at another party. And then she said she had spoken to I think this guy was some type of rock star. Yeah, rock star. And that dude said he wasn't even in this. She said she had talked to him at the party. Yeah, you know, I talked to him at the party about his tattoos. The dude said, man, I wasn't even in New York on that day. I was nowhere near New York. I was on the West Coast. So there are a lot of people out there who are just liars, and they don't care about ruining people's lives. Personally, I couldn't do that. I could do that. Even if I was an enemy of somebody, if I wanted to hurt them, I hurt them on a different level. Like, if I really want to hurt them, you know what I'm talking about, fam. But I wouldn't do it like that. I'm not. To me, that's sneaky. That's snake-like. Those are snake-like moves. You know, to just lie on somebody like that and make up something, that's a snake. That's the type of person that can't be trusted for nothing. That type of person cannot be trusted. So I wouldn't trust him. I would have I would have a very hard problem trusting somebody like that. I would not trust a person like that under any circumstances. Just lying on somebody and ruining people's lives like that, having those lies. And the thing about it, even though they're exonerated, the lie is still out there forever and it's on the internet forever. And so think about the people who, think about all the damage that's already been done, right? So now think about all of those people who made negative comments about these guys in regards to that particular lie, that particular lawsuit. Think about all the millions of comments that were made, the thousands of videos where people commentated and reacted. That stuff is not going to be taken down. It's on the internet forever. So fast forward, and you see people who may have been out of the loop, or people who are young right now who are going to find these articles and come across these articles 10 years from now, 20 years from now. And they read these articles, they may believe them. They may only read the article where these guys were accused, not exonerated. They may only see the parts where, read the comments where they were being disparaged, not where they were redeemed, you see? Because in most cases, the apology is never as loud as the accusation or the criticism, right? I think there needs to be a law passed. There has to be a law passed when people make up these type of stories. Once you catch them in a lie, there has to be swift consequences. And I'll be the first to tell you what I think these consequences should look like. Here's what I think they should do. I think when people lie like this and lie on people about essaying them, I think, number one, first and foremost, that person should be sentenced to prison time, not jail, prison time. Because the person that they're accusing, if they were actually convicted, that's where they're going. So give them the punishment that the person, to the extent that the person who they claim violated them would have to serve. Give them the same punishment. Give it to them. I bet you that'll stop a whole lot of that. Give them the same punishment. But also fine them and make them pay for lawyer fees automatically. Make them pay for lawyer fees. The sad part in this country is oftentimes when people are accused of crimes or anything, they have to lawyer up and they never get that money back. I want my money back from the lawyers. I want my money back from the parking meters. I want my money back from the lunch. Because you know they got expensive lunch around those courtrooms. So I heard. I want the money back for every expense that I had and any money that I missed. Any concert dates, any work dates, I want all that money back. I want my money back. And I think that they should pay a PR agency to scrub the negative reports. Pay somebody, every negative report out there about that particular, accusing me of that, whatever, all that has to be scrubbed and it got to be paid. It should be paid for by the accuser, the false accuser. There has to be some consequences. It's way too easy to just accuse a person of something they didn't do. And oftentimes, when the truth is revealed, there ain't no penalty for the person who told the lie. That ain't cool. There should be a penalty. There's a penalty when you lie to the government. If you lie to the government, that's perjury. You go to jail. You go to prison. They put a case on you. So they absolutely should have to do some type of time. I say give them prison time. Put them in prison. I tell you somebody else who should be put in prison. The guy in this photograph that's highlighted. That guy should be put in prison. Who is this uncivilized mutt? Well, we got a New Jersey firefighter who was caught on surveillance footage at work tying a noose, then tossing it to his black coworker, and he's out of a job with his town's fire department. I ain't got no problem with that. Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock that uncivilized mud up. According to records obtained by NJ Advanced Media, Walter Coffey was fired from his position with the township of Bloomfield's fire department. Those records reveal Coffey was terminated on November 16th, and the reason for his termination was listed under other. In a Facebook post on December 12, Mayor Jenny Mundell confirmed the news but did not specify Coffey by name. Though I am limited by New Jersey law regarding details of personal matters with reference to the matter of the Bloomfield's Fire Department, I can now confirm that the firefighter involved in the November 22, 2023 incident is no longer employed by the township of Bloomfield, Mundell wrote. The situation was handled through the appropriate administrative process, which has now concluded. Coffey was suspended without pay from his position for the last 2 years following a racist incident in November 2023 involving his colleague, Patrick Thomas. That be Patrick right there. That be Patrick on your left right there, fam. Okay? In a $25 million lawsuit, Thomas, a black firefighter with the township of Bloomfield, alleged that Coffey made derogatory racist references during a departmental training on rope and knot techniques. During that training, he approached Thomas and said, "Thomas, there's a noose upstairs on the table. Did you see it?" A week later, in the middle of a knot training session at the firehouse, the complaint states that Coffey tied a hangman's noose, threw it towards Thomas while laughing and said, "I want you to figure out what kind of knot that is, boy." Surveillance footage obtained by WNBC caught the moments Coffey tied the noose, then tossed it towards Thomas in front of several of their colleagues. Coffey was charged in December 2023 with bias intimidation. A judge allowed him to complete a pretrial intervention program to answer for the charges, which he entered in January 2025, according to Montclair Local. An internal investigation by the fire department into Coffey's actions was paused. He was charged and resumed in May, once his criminal proceedings concluded. Bloomfield Township Attorney Gaddafi Shabazz wrote in a statement last month. Coffey had been employed with the township since 2000. So that boy was counting on that money. He's been there damn near 25 years. and lost his job. Boy, racism wins again. Boy, racism strikes again. Thomas's suit also states that Coffey has used the N-word on numerous occasions in front of other black firefighters, but never faced disciplinary action. Did you hear that? He used the N-word several times on numerous occasions in front of other black firefighters, but never faced disciplinary action. Bloomfield will not tolerate racism in any form, and our community deserves a workplace and a local government that reflects those values, Mondale told in New Jersey Advanced Media. She continued, I know how deeply this incident has affected many of our residents, and I want them to know that I hear their concerns. Addressing racism requires ongoing commitment, and my administration remains focused on building systems that promote safety, respect, and accountability for everyone who lives and works here. You know his superiors are racist, right? Because he should have been fired off the rip. Really, he should have never been hired, but then that really wouldn't make sense because you got a racist hiring racist. You know, when they behave like this, it's easy to tell what kind of bosses they have because we know ain't no way Willie D could be his boss. Ain't no way he come in my fire department acting uncivilized. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. His ass would have been gone. He would have been gone. There's no way possible I would allow him to come in and disrupt the workflow like that, disrespect people like that. No way possible. So when you see these type of racist acts, when you see this type of thing, and also especially when it's ongoing, because sometimes the mutts can slip through the cracks. But when you see it being an ongoing thing, that means that it's really coming from the top and it's pervasive. These managers, supervisors, owners know exactly who works for them. Just like they want you to fill out an application and they want you to say what kind of person you are, and when you give them their resume, you know, you gotta tell them what kind of person you are, how you're a team member, and what you worked on in the past, and all these things that you did. They do the same thing with these firefighters and police officers and all of these people. They vet. So they knew who they was hiring. Oftentimes, they don't hire these people unless these people hold these type of views. They hire those people because they hold those views. He was hired because he hold those type of racist views. And taking him out is not going to change a lot. All it's going to do is make the other racists that worked there with him a little bit more conscious about making these type of actions themselves be pronounced. That's it. That's it. It's not going to stop them. It's only going to make them be a little bit more careful until they get all the way comfortable to being open with it again. Right now, everybody on notice. Boston came back. Hey, keep that down. You know, keep the nigger jokes down, and you know what I'm saying. You know, let's just stay and blow over. As soon as it blow over, they right back to normal. They rinse and repeat. This is what they do. If you want to know where he get it from, you can easily go to his mama house and daddy and talk to them. You know, I'm sure they're the same way. But within that company, all you got to do is just start going up top, and you'll see that's where it comes from. That's where it starts. That's because they had to be okay with it for him to be that open with it. They had to be okay with that. Do you know a lot of these owners and managers and supervisors, they get a kick out of these racists working for them because the racist employees can oftentimes get away with stuff that they can't get away with. If the racist employee do something racist, typically it works itself out. You know, the employee and the other employee work it out between themselves, some kind of way they figure it out. But they're really doing the bidding of management. Management is getting a kick out of these antics also. They're getting a kick out of it when these uncivilized mutts plant nooses on desk. They get a kick out of it when the uncivilized mutt get the receipt and write a monkey on the receipt. They get a kick out of this stuff. They hire these people and they sit back and laugh, and they only throw them under the bus when they become a liability. They know who worked for them. At Starbucks, they know who works for them. At Popeyes, churches, Bloomingdale, Macy's, AT&T, Verizon, they know who worked for them. NBC, CBS, ABC, they know exactly who works for them. They know these people. That's why they hire them. They're comfortable with these people. At these schools, the principal knows who's there. He knows what type of teachers are under them. They know. The superintendents, they know what type of principals they have. So when these people make these racist comments, when the teachers get caught for saying the N-word and this and that, or whatever, the principal already know. And that's why they don't fire them immediately. They're trying to hold on to them as long as they can. And then when they realize that they're too much of a liability, only then do they let them go. And they come out with their little generic ass apology statement. And we try to create an environment that is all inclusive because we don't believe in children having to feel endangered when they're getting an education and da-da-da-da-da and da-da-da-da-da-da. We are currently looking into the matter. It's being investigated and da-da-da-da. The person has been fired. The person has been relieved of duty. The person has been suspended. That's all game, fam. It comes from the top. It starts at the top. And if you really want to know what's going on at their police department, investigate the entire police department. And they would probably have to get rid of every damn firefighter in there. They probably, if they got 20 firefighters, they'll probably end up with 2. Because most of their asses are just the same way. Most of them. That's who they hire. The ones that they're going to be comfortable around. The ones who are just like them. I used to think more of firefighters than police officers because I looked at it like firefighters put their lives on the line every day, right? They're actually putting their life on the line for real. They go into burning buildings. Until I started reading up on stories and hearing about stories where firefighters have let Black people die purposely. Like they could have went in and saved it. They had an opportunity to save them and they just watched them burn. They just stood from a distance and just watched them burn. They didn't make an attempt to try to save them. Imagine how many Black bodies, how many Black people was trying to escape and the firefighter made a way into the building, to the house, into the room. And they thought, finally, he come to help me. And they reach out for help and they push him off. Imagine how many people have perished because the firefighter pushed them off. There was a viral video out not too long ago of a Black trucker who had a conversation with a white guy who confessed to him. They were in a diner, and the white guy, he said, confessed to him that, you know, he used to be a racist guy. He used to be racist. when he was a firefighter. And when he used to go out and fight fires, he would go out there with the intent on saving life until he came across a black person. And it wasn't just him. He said when he would see a black person in the fire, he would just let them die. Sometimes it was black children, and he just let them die. So now I look at their ass as totally different. I look at them totally different. And since then, I've seen like literally hundreds of stories where firefighters are racist. Firefighters doing racist stuff, making racist statements, revealing racist text messages, video evidence. Yeah. Racist firefighters ain't no different from the fire department, no different from the police department. And guess who else racist? A bunch of racists. Paramedics. How many black people was put on a stretcher and put into that ambulance, and they got that behind that ambulance and they just squeezed their nose and covered their mouth? How many times do you think that happened? How many times do you think, because we get a lot of dead on arrivals. Dead on arrival. How many have they killed? I don't trust none of their asses, fam. I don't trust none of them. Something happened to me, dog. I'm not going in no ambulance, man. Drive me. You can't drive me, pat me. I'm not going in no ambulance. Not without my people. If my people can't ride, I ain't riding. I don't trust them at all. I don't trust them at all, fam. It's worse than I ever thought it was. I thought we was all right. I thought we was getting better. I thought we was getting better until Barack became president. Because Barack didn't go out of his way to divide the country. The country went out of his way to divide itself once Barack got in. In fact, it was before he got in. When they realized that Barack had a chance of becoming the president, they started getting nervous. Because for a lot of them, they didn't have no problem. But maybe they had a problem, but they was okay with accepting the black mayor, the black city council member, the black comptroller, the black commissioner, the black state rep, the black congressman, the black senator. Although I don't think we have any. But black president? There's a black senator. We might have one. Oh, no, we don't have one. We don't have one black senator. Okay, it says the U.S. Senate currently has several black senators, including Republicans. Tim Scott. That's why I don't think of them. I don't look at it like that, because they're coons. These dudes are coconuts. Tim Scott. I don't know why I thought he was a congressman. So Tim Scott, Raphael Warnock, Lisa Blunt, and Angela Also Brooks. Damn, hell of a name there. Making a historic 5 serving together in the 119th Congress. So they got 5 black senators, and at least I see at least half of them who are coconuts. At least half. So it don't mean a whole lot. in any event, these firefighters, they got a bad rep. They got a bad rep, and they earned it. They go out and earn it every day. You know, a lot of times firefighters, they're just sitting around with nothing to do. They might be sitting around for hours at a time. So they get to really know each other well. They play cards and dominoes, and they gamble, they play poker and things like that. They watch a lot of television. Now they're watching YouTube videos. I'm sure some of them gonna see this. And I'm gonna tell you to your face, you a sucker. Your mama a sucker, your daddy a sucker. Your grandparents were suckers. Can't stand you. Can't stand you. But that's where they get it from, fam. They get it from their grandpappys and grandmammies. And they got it from their grandpappys and their grandmammies, and so on and so on and so on. I can't even imagine being a brother working amongst these uncivilized mutts and having to deal with something like that. You already, in life, you already got to deal with just regular stuff that everybody else got to deal with. You got to deal with trying to work, put food on the table, take care of your kids, be a good husband. Then you got to try to find some type of life outside of work where you can relax, unloose, unwind, you know. Then you got to deal with loss of family members. You got to deal with your own health. While at the same time, at any moment, you can be called to risk your life to save the life of strangers. Sometimes people who are so hell-bent on being divided that they're indifferent to a Black person saving their life. Boy, that's some hate right there. I can't even imagine hating somebody that much where they can save my life and I don't even let them save my life. No, I can't give you that credit. I can't give you the credit of saving my life. No, I'm not going to do that. No, get away from me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Yeah, just burn up. You know what I do? Burn, Hollywood burn. I feel all right going. Y'all check out a movie. What's up, Chuck D? Yeah, that's how I'd be like, yeah, burn. What's up, Cube? Burn. Yeah, man, burn. I wouldn't give a damn. I've seen videos and read articles where you have these white people who say they don't want a Black doctor touching them. It's a specialist. Like, this is the best guy in the game. This is a specialist. He is the best. All right? Ain't nobody better than him. You got a particular procedure that needs to take place. This is a life-threatening or life-altering procedure. And you don't want him to touch you because of the color of his skin? Not because he's not talented, not because he's not intelligent, he's not skilled, because of his skin color. You know how slow you got to be? You got to be short, bust, window licking slow to put your life on the line. And just because of somebody's skin color, you know how slow you got to be? So if it was me, if I was one of the doctors, and I come in, you ain't got to tell me you don't want me to be your doctor because I'm Black. I can look at your face. If you look like you might be one of them, I ain't helping you. I'm going to walk away. You better, boy, if I come in there, you better be, hey, doc. I don't care if you comatose. You better give me a sign that you ain't racist. You better let me know something. I'm going to let your ass. Oh, yeah. I'm going to let you be. Yeah, I'm not going to try to. I ain't finna be like some of the, some of those Black doctors, they have so much dignity. I got to give them credit. They have so much dignity. They're like, dignity and compassion, because I have dignity, but compassion. They have so much passion, so much compassion. They're like, no, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to do the job. And no, I don't care what he says. I'm going to do the job. And then when they do the best job they can do, this is how they do when they be on television. Like they do a really, really good job. And then they show the frustration of having to work on a racist after they finish saving their life. They gotta show the frustration. So they take off the garbs and stuff. They like get the hand, take the gloves out, wash their hands and all that stuff. And then they just go somewhere and have a meltdown. I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, oh, cool, shit, man. I want to watch the game anyway, man. Shit, let me check my Instagram. Shit, man. Shit, check my Facebook messages. Yeah, I'm great. Yeah. Who? Well, somebody come back in. Doc, no, you got to go back in there, Doc. No, I don't. No, I don't. The patient has rights. Patient rights. You don't want me to touch him? I ain't gonna touch him. Yeah. If I come in that room, if I'm the doctor, hey, look, man, the D stand for Willie D. The D stand for doctor. Yeah. I come in the room and you in there, you got a scar on your face. It could be because somebody beat you out of $1,000, $1 million. I don't care. You better act right when I walk in. When I walk in, you better be like, hey, doc. I don't care if you took 5. I don't care if you took 5 hits. Hey, doc. Couldn't wait to see you, doc. Yeah, give me some of that. I better you boy out because I'm going to match your energy. I'm going to match your energy. Wish you would tell me you don't want me touching you. I'm like, okay. I say, man, free country, baby. Free country. Yeah, get on up out of here, man. Shit, I was trying to get to the house anyway. Shit, my girl cooked, man. She can cook something good, man. I got to go eat. I'm going to go eat some home-cooked food instead of this old doctor hospital food. Yeah, I'm gone, man. Got to be crazy. Man, I want the best. I got my life on the line. I want the best. I don't give a damn what color they are. I want the best. Whoever gonna get me on the road to recovery the quickest, who's ever gonna give me the best shot at saving my life, I want the best. I don't give a damn if they import them from Mars. If they bring them from Mars, if they say, hey, man, we finally got him here. And as soon as he get in, he taking off the space. He still got the space uniform on. Okay, I'm like, whoo, come on, man, come on. I ain't got to know his name. I ain't never met him. All I know is he the best. He's the best. Or she's the best. Come on. Come on, man. I'm trying to live, baby. I'm trying to live. Some of these people, see, they allow this racism thing to block their blessings. But some of them don't even realize that there are blessings that are being blocked. They don't even realize it. They so slow. I mean, I'm talking about slow, backwoods, I'm talking about like pre-Civil War slow. Yeah, just slow. So yeah, I'll let him expire. Sure would. Sure would. Just bullish, what up? What's up, Chubb Scott? CJ Spratt. Marcus changed. Marcus changed. Marcus looked like he came up with that name because somebody said he changed. And he was like, yeah, I sure did change. Damn sure did. You know what? That's going to be my handle. Marcus changed. Yeah, I changed for the better. Sure did. Think I'm supposed to be the same person I was before I got to this money, before I started doing good? Man, let me get, no, hell no. Markets changed. Change is good. Change is good. Change for the betterment. Positive change is good. Connie Hart, China Carter. That's my time, fam. I appreciate y'all joining the live. Hold on. Let me just check real quick before I jump out of here, because we're covering the last 24 hours of news. And so let me make sure I ain't missing anything. Make sure I ain't missing anything. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna share this with y'all. This is tragic. This is really bad right here. Share my screen with y'all. So I don't know who this guy is. I'm not familiar with him, but apparently NASCAR's Greg Biffle is dead at 55 after a plane crash. 55. So here's the story. This is breaking news, fam. Legendary NASCAR driver Greg Biffle is among the dead after a fiery plane crash in North Carolina, TMZ Sports has confirmed. That's cold-blooded. That's cold-blooded. The Cessna C550, that's the C550, a light private jet registered to a company owned by the star driver, crash landed near a runway at Statesville Regional Airport on Thursday morning, 26 minutes after the aircraft took off from the same airstrip, killing 55-year-old and others aboard. Now, I wonder where they were going, because for the plane to be in the air for 26 minutes, typically, planes, once they get going, they're good. Most crashes happen during takeoff or landing. When you're getting close to landing or right after takeoff. So it's like right after takeoff, not during takeoff, but right after takeoff, shortly after takeoff, or shortly before landing is when most planes crash. Let me open this up so I can get more into it. The plane was originally scheduled to travel to Florida, but the Cessna seemed to turn back towards the airport just minutes into the flight. You see that, yeah? See what I tell you? Yeah, so typically, that's when they experience trouble, when they're, moments after takeoff or moments before landing. And it appears that this plane was originally scheduled to travel to Florida, but the Cessna seemed to turn back towards the airport just minutes into the flight. So obviously it had some mechanical issues. Garrett Mitchell, aka YouTuber Cletus McFarland, says Biffle and his family were traveling to spend the day with him, but tragically never made it. Unfortunately, I can confirm Greg Biffle, his wife Christina, daughter Emma, and son Ryder were on that plane. Because they were on their way to spend the afternoon with us, we are devastated. I'm so sorry to share this. Let's see. So there he is, and his wife and his two kids. Congressman Richard Hudson, a politician from North Carolina who knew the family, also weighed in on the tragic accident. So let me go back to the top here. And so they were in North Carolina on their way to Florida. I'm devastated by the loss of Greg, Christina, and the children, and my heart is with all who love them, Rep. Hudson wrote. They were friends who lived their lives focused on helping others. Greg was a great NASCAR champion who thrilled millions of fans, but he was an extraordinary person as well, and will be remembered for his service to others as much as for his fearlessness on the track. The congressman added, our prayers are with their family, friends, and everyone grieving this unimaginable loss. It's currently unclear who was piloting the plane, but Greg was known to be an avid flyer who often posted images from the cockpit of his Cessna jet. On the ground, Biffle was one of the best drivers to ever step foot in a race car. He started racing for NASCAR back in 1995. In 1998, Greg won the Craftsman Truck Series Rookie of the Year award, as well as a series championship in 2000. Throughout the course of his standout career, he started 515 races over 14 seasons in the NASCAR Cup Series Championship, winning 19 races and finishing in the top 10 in the final Cup standing 6 times, including a runner-up finish in 2005. He was a perennial playoff contender. Biffle retired from driving full-time in 2016, but the accolades didn't stop there. In 2023, he was named one of the 75 greatest drivers ever before being nominated for the 2026 class of NASCAR Hall of Fame. The NTSB is en route to the crash scene and will lead the investigation into the fatal crash. This is a developing story. I don't follow NASCAR, obviously, but this guy just wasn't no anybody. He was a champion. And he lost his life and his family. That's cold. He wiped out an entire family. As soon as I saw this story, it reminded me of Kobe Bryant and his daughter. Yeah, it's like, whoo-wee, man. It wiped out the whole family. God. That's sad right there, y'all. That's sad. That's sad right there. 55. All right, fam, that's my time. I appreciate y'all joining live. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. R.I.P. Greg Biffle and his family. Condolences to the survivors, his friends, and fans. Y'all be careful out there, family. Tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, 12 noon West Coast, 3 p.m. Eastern. No more talk.